What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, October 3rd, day number 80 inside the Big Brother house. After 2 days of absolutely nothing to really talk about, the vote might have flipped. We're also going to look at some of the BB comics that we're going to get to see tonight, as well as why don't we go over our top 5, and I'm going to rank who I think would be the best winner at the moment. Let's talk about that, plus all the intel, drama, and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. To give you guys a little recap, you haven't been keeping up with everything going on the feeds. After double eviction night took out Leah and Angela, MJ won HOH once again. She nominated Chemo and Rubina. And despite some feelings from her and Chelsea that maybe they were carrying Cam for far too long, MJ, who won the power of veto, decided to keep her nominations the same, meaning that Chemo or Rubina will be evicted tonight and be entered as the 5th jury for our finale. Now, when we left with yesterday's update, it seemed like it was all but certain that Chemo was going to be going over Rubina tonight. And early in the morning yesterday, it seemed like that was all sticking the same way. Rubina even asked Chelsea, like, hey, should we meet up later, have a little bit of chat? Chelsea reassured her. She's like, no, we don't even have to. Like, it's good. Like, there's nothing to worry about. MJ even met up with her later. And she tells her, like, hey, if it ends up being a tie or something like that, Rubina, I'm keeping you over Chemo. And for the most part, things were very chill for the rest of the day. We had the typical singing. They were all chatting, doing their thing, you know, nothing crazy. There was a slight little dispute that took place, which led into a bit of an argument, more of kind of a fun back and forth between Chelsea and MJ. Chelsea was upset that MJ didn't open her HOH doors. So they were kind of going back and forth at each other. But again, it was more playful and fun than anything else. It actually brought some entertainment to the feed yesterday. But then, from out of nowhere, Cam decides, hey, you know that vote that we had decided? Well, I don't think it is decided yet. He had previously told Chemo, like, hey, I'd love to keep you around, Chemo, but I'm going to have to talk to Chelsea about this. And when he had that conversation, I just thought it was platitudes, right? Just the normal things that you tell somebody who's on the block, but you don't want to just kind of completely smash all their hopes and dreams. You say, I'd love to keep you, but let me see where the votes are at. Well, turns out, no, he actually is really on board with keeping Chemo. And he had a chat with Chelsea about, you know, the pros and cons over the two of them. Basically, it comes down to this. Rubina, she might not take Cam to the final 3, whereas Chemo, he has actually promised to go after MJ next week and take her out. And this makes Cam feel a lot more comfortable going into the final 4 with Chemo, who's going to be going after MJ, than he does with Rubina, who might just go kind of all girls to the end and might take out Cam if she ends up winning the power of veto next week. So this is a little bit of a back and forth, but overall it seems somewhat decided by the two of them that, yeah, okay, let's get rid of Chemo, and that Rubina should be the one to leave. So they floated this idea out to MJ kind of lightly, nothing like too pressury in it. And MJ pretty much indicated to them, just like, I really don't care either way, right? Like, whoever goes, goes. Would I maybe rather Rubina stay a little bit? Sure, but overall, I don't care that much. Eventually, MJ and Chelsea also had a little chat alone to discuss about what's going on. They do, however, kind of wonder why Cam all of a sudden is pushing for this. Cam has been someone all season long who, when I hear Cam talk, I do think, hey, you know what? Cam does have a pretty good idea of what should be done and how this game works. But he doesn't push his agenda. He kind of lets other people follow, or I should say other people lead, and he follows and goes along with it. So he hasn't really pushed much. So him coming out and stepping on that limb and deciding, you know what? Actually, no, I do want Rubina gone and Chemo would be better for my game, is a little bit out of the ordinary for Cam. So it's something that definitely MJ and Chelsea have noticed. And I wonder if maybe this was all brought on from the past 2 days of berating that Cam has taken from MJ and Chelsea about how he's not carrying his weight. So while going into yesterday's feeds, it seemed all but certain that Chemo would be leaving. Going into tonight's eviction, it looks like it's leaving. It's leaning towards Rubina, who will be the one to go. But again, MJ and Chelsea are kind of the ones who will have that final say. If they don't want to go along with what Cam is wanting to do, they can split the vote up. MJ can break the tie and keep Rubina, or they might go along with what Cam decides to do. There's still going to be some questions and conversations that could be happening today before the actual episode. So we'll keep an eye on some of that as well. Overall, though, that's pretty much everything that covers what happened on the feeds. I wanted to quickly, though, show you a little bit of a preview here of what some of the BB comics will look like during the veto ceremony, which will our veto competition and ceremony. We'll see both of those tonight. That will be taking place on tonight's episode. Here we start off with Leah, the chubby chaser. She's a heavy hitter, ladies and gentlemen. You got the slop burgers back there, and they're all running away from her. I don't know. It feels like low-hanging fruit for it as she's chasing the 2 chubby kings, as she would say there. Overall, probably not the best comic they've ever put out there, but it works. Quinn Sanity. Honestly, I weirdly kind of like this one. I think it kind of fits a little bit for Quinn, who did seem a little bit like a madman inside that house. The ultimate mad hair day, it says. So yeah, really leaning into his crazy hair, but overall, not the worst comic they've ever done. Again, probably not the best comic they ever done, but so far probably leading as far as the comics that I like from this season. Next up, we got the microchip for Chelsea. She is on the ultimate power trip, it says. Now, on the surface level, I feel like this is just super basic. There's nothing really to it. It's just taking what she had in that first week of being a mascot and applying it to this. I do like the idea that she has a little bit of control in the game. And once we talk about another houseguest comic, I kind of like what somebody came up with in the comments when we first were talking about what these comics were going to be. Of how these 2 houseguests relate, but we'll get back to that in just a bit. Next up, we have Volchemo. Chemo set up here, kind of looking like the Thing from Fantastic Four. He is saying here, all's fair in lava and war. Listen, I don't know what's going on with his hand right here, guys. This makes me uncomfortable. I don't know what's happening here, but I don't like it. Next up, we got Angela, the atomic mom. We've even got Matt here as she's gigantically going through the city, destroying it. She's ready to go nuclear, which she was all throughout the season with her yellow hazmat suit, harking back to her punishment from earlier in the season, which really was just pure torture for that lady. Next up, we do have Matt, who we saw a little glimpse up there in Angela's hand. His retina is gonna get you. Good old crazy eyes, Matt. I'll be honest. You know what he gives off here, and it's a little bit of a combination of 3 things. It's a little bit giving me just kind of like Jerry Seinfeld meets who's the guy? Bourdain. Anthony Bourdain, who would always do the food traveling shows. It's a little bit like if you mix them 2 together, but then he's also doing kind of like a Michael Jackson, like kind of a thing. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's a kind of a weird combo. I think if I was Matt, I'd end up probably being happy with what they turned out for me, but it's not terrible. I actually think it's actually kind of maybe one of the best ones they did. Next up, we have Mech Kenzie, going off the fact that she is pretty much a machine in that house. She's the comp beast of the season, and she'll control alt delete you. Oh boy, oh boy. Now here's the thing. I don't hate it. I think it can fit MJ for this season. It's not the best comic they've ever done or anything like that, but I don't think this was intentional. I really do not think this took any consideration into it. when they were making this. But somebody in the comments, and I wish I could remember who it was, pointed out this little connection, and I actually think this is pretty good. You got MJ here, the robot, the Mackenzie, right? What controls a robot? A microchip. And Chelsea has been controlling MJ for a good portion of this game. So when you kind of combined the microchip controlling the robot, I kind of like it. I don't think that had anything to do with them actually coming up with this, but us as fans having to come up with a reasonable reason on why these actually make sense. I kind of like that. I wish I could remember who it was in the comments because it was brilliant. And I think it overall, it fits. Next up, we've got Cam, the chameleon. No one will see him coming. They definitely won't. Kind of terrible, if I'm being honest. This is a pretty bad, this is a pretty bad comic overall. We've got Crow Slay for T-Core. Again, really bad. I'm not a fan of this one. Cross her and you're in deep knit. Oh boy. Yeah, not great. We've got the Instigator. He'll tuck you up. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. They got some of the different looks of Tucker, some funny faces he made, that look he had for that 1AI arena. It's not terrible. It gives me a little bit of that, you know, kind of Joker-esque, almost the Riddler, kind of like the Jim Carrey from the Batman movies. We've talked about the similarities with Tucker and Jim Carrey. This one even here really harkening back to a little bit of that Joker kind of style. Not terrible, not great, but overall, it's a comic. Next up, we got the Roller Rebel for Rubina. Won't let crime skate by. It's pretty terrible. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Rubina is big in the roller skating. I've seen the videos of her. She's done some really cool stuff, but overall, not the best. Rewind, pausing crime throughout time. This one's pretty bad. The comic and the illustrations, not terrible. I don't hate it, right? I get the whole rewind. He worked in a video store, blah, blah, blah. They also got the back here in July 2001. He went and met Dr. Will. Haha, that's funny. I don't know. Could be better. Could be a lot worse. But yeah, this next one. Oh, listen, guys, they did Lisa so dirty. The glitter critter. Don't feed her edible glitter after midnight. Dirty, Lisa. That is this one. Oh boy, I don't know what's going on here, Lisa. It doesn't even look like her, but the feet, the feet. They really went in on Lisa with this one. We got Cedric. Cedric's looking good here. If I was Cedric, I'd be happy with this comic. They made me look really cool here. As far as the theme goes, I mean, other than him being the young Cedric and the superhero training, and they've got a bunch of BB alum down here. You got Nicole F, Derrick X. I think this is supposed to be Frankie, but I don't remember him having a costume like that. I think this was when they did like the superhero thing. I think this is supposed to be Devon, maybe, but again, I don't remember her having an outfit like this. I think this was when they did like that superhero thing for the comp that one season. And then I think this is supposed to be Jag. This looks nothing like Jag, if we're being honest. Maybe it's just missing the beard, and that's why. But overall, barely legal, totally lethal. Not terrible, but not the best one they could have done either. The Charcuterie Thief. We've got good old Brooklyn here. Hide your salami as she's trying to steal all the meats from the store. Again, not terrible, not the best, but it is what it is. And then finally, we got Sweet Kenney Kelley he's a real wiener. Listen, BB, I don't know what you're doing here. You got somebody hawk-tooing on his wiener. Big brother, you need to explain yourself here. What is going on? This is giving me nightmares. This girl right here, whoever this is that whoever this is right here, they're very confused by this as well. I don't like it, and it bothers me. It bothers me. But that's it for the comics. We'll see all of that play out in BB Comics tonight for the veto competition. One last thing I wanted to do before letting you guys go is kind of give you guys my final 5 rankings for the winners. This idea actually comes from Stin in yesterday's video. He left a comment saying like, hey, why don't you give your rankings for who you think would be the best winner? I don't want to go over necessarily any of the jury scenarios. We went over a few of them in one of the live streams the other day. And I kind of want to save that for final 3, and then we'll really start looking at the jury scenarios. But to give you guys kind of a ranking, right? If I was going to rank each of these final 5 on who I think would be the best winner, kind of the most satisfying the winner, the one who kind of deserves it the most, let's kind of go through there and give you some of my points here. First up, Rubina. Really, she's never kind of led anything. She's always just kind of been a follower. There's been multiple times where she's had been saved from a position, and it really was only just because she was less of a threat than her being necessarily of value to people's games. So I feel like I got to put Rubina as 5th here in this situation. But hey, if she's able to kind of win a couple of comps here and earn her way into the end, I think she can very much climb these rankings here and be full on deserving. I don't think there's anyone who isn't 100% like full on dud in this final 5. I feel like everybody has kind of done something at some point to get to the position they're in. Maybe they got a little bit lucky here and there, but definitely Rubina probably 5th in that spot. The one right after her is Cam. Cam would be 4th, and I probably could say almost the same exact things about Cam as I said about Rubina. Always kind of been just kind of a follower, wasn't really leading things at times. Again, was probably in a little bit better positions and hasn't been in as much dangerous situations as Rubina. But again, that's also just because he's just not seen as a threat than necessarily his well-doing. I do think, kind of like we were talking about earlier, I think he sees the game. I think he understands things that need to happen. There's so many times I've said when I've been listening to the Cam, all of a sudden I go, this kid actually knows what he's talking about. He's got a good mind for the game. And then nothing really kind of follows through with that. He never really has the power to kind of push his agenda. He lets kind of everybody else push the agenda, and he kind of follows along. And it's worked out really well for him for the most part, most of this game, because his agendas have aligned with Chelsea's almost the entire time. So he's kind of just been able to let her make all the moves and make all of the things happen, where he just kind of stay behind the scenes. Does that give him enough to actually win the game right now? Probably not. He would need to do a lot, probably win on out to even get there, but also win on out to even probably have a good case on why he should be the winner. Next up, for 3rd of all of our rankings, I have Chemo. Constantly a pawn. At the very least, he's been a part of some of the big votes and some of the big moves that have happened this season, even though if he wasn't actually the lead in those scenarios. And he's had a few, I wouldn't say must-win scenarios, but he's had a few scenarios where he's had to pull out a win here or there for himself. Other than that, though, hasn't won a lot. And I think he pretty strongly ranks at the 3rd of the top 5. We then get into our top 2, and I would say it is a far top 2. The next 2 house guests, our top 2 ladies here, are way above in our rankings. It is pretty much the top 2, and then you got the bottom 3. First off, for number 2 in our rankings, we have MJ. She fought from the bottom since the first week, was kind of put into a box with being in a showmance with Matt, even though there really wasn't anything to it. Like, yeah, sure, there was some flirty looks back and forth, but there was never really anything solid that would say like they are going to be a showmance if you let this go on. It would have maybe have happened, sure, but hey, probably could have just as easily happened with somebody else, right? At the end of it, though, she really found herself after all of this turmoil she had in the beginning of the season, kind of being in a target, not really having a lot of allies to her. she ended up finding herself in a position where she was a number for a lot of people instead of being a target. And then also ended up winning a lot of must-win scenarios for herself to get her further in the game. And I think you got to give MJ all the credit in the world for even getting to this point with all of the struggles that she had in the game going forward. And then coming in at number 1, I think this is really no surprise to almost anyone who's been watching the videos this season. Chelsea is my leader right now for people who I think not only have the best chance to win, but also I think deserve to win this game so far. She almost always was in control of where the numbers were, always had people believing that she was working with them and for them, when really she was always looking out for herself in the long run. There was maybe 1 or 2 weeks there around when Cedric and Brooklyn left where things started to kind of unravel for her, but she quickly was able to bounce back and almost actually found herself in a more powerful position following that downward turn than she was in before. So she is by and afar my leader going in to the final 5 eviction tonight, where we will move to find out who our final 4 house guests will be. And I'm really looking forward to see how this all plays out. Like I said, we will be live here tonight on the channel. So if you haven't come on out for one of our watch parties, make sure you come on out for tonight's. It's going to be a good time. We're going to see the veto competition where we'll see BB Comics. Then we'll have the eviction where someone will become the 5th member of our jury. Will it be Chemo? Will it be Rubina? We will find out tonight. We'll also be live on Friday morning. If you guys don't know, not only do we do live feed updates every single morning, but on Fridays, they're a little bit special and we go live. You get the same update you normally do here where you get all the info you need from the night before. And then we jump into the chat and we have a good old time chatting with you guys about what's been going down on the feeds. We're going to have a lot to go over because we're also going to see a jury segment on tonight's episode. So not only hopefully we'll know who won HOH, what some of the final 3 scenarios are going to look like as we head on into the final 4 veto, which is just hugely important. And we'll have a lot to talk about on tomorrow's live stream. So make sure you come on and check out tonight's live stream for the watch party and tomorrow for the live feed update. Thank you guys all so much for joining me each and every single day here on the channel as we've been covering Big Brother for 80 days now. Unbelievable. It feels like it went so fast, but also I'm so ready for it to be finishing up here. Thank you guys all so much. If you are new here, though, hit that subscribe button. You like this video? Hit that like button. You made it all the way to the end of this video. Smash that like button. You better hit that thumbs up and hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out all the links to all my socials in the description, pinned comment down below. You check out things like Twitter and Discord. Great place to keep track when videos and live streams are going on, but also great community that we're building over on Discord. Just so much fun. People always chatting about Big Brother, other reality shows, just sports, whatever you got on your mind. If you just want to post a picture of your pet, you can go and do that too. So check out the Discord. Also, make sure you check out Twitch and Kick. We're going to be streaming a lot more over there now that the season is wrapping up. So make sure you follow those as well. Thank you guys all once again for watching, and I will see you at night.
Want to get mad at me for somebody else's actions? You see how little sister trying to buck up? Little sister trying to buck